Hello, this is Rex, and welcome to G-Rex Customs. For today's episode, in celebration of March from the Crag, I'll be showing you how to build an upgraded version of one of the iconic Ultramarine characters who was left behind in the changeover the 10th edition, Scout Sergeant Telion. An elite stealth and reconnaissance expert, Sergeant Telion served the Ultramarines under 3 successive chapter masters and even earned a position in the chapter's elite honor guard. Despite this, he preferred to stay with the Scout Company, leading different squads on special missions. Unfortunately, despite all the interesting lore and artwork, Telion's model leaves something to be desired, so I'll be giving him an update, based on his previous model and art. For those of you who don't know, he looks like this, and sometimes like this, but normally like this. Now, for this conversion, you're going to need 3 kits: Space Marine Scouts, Space Marine Eliminators, and Horus Heresy Mark 6 Tactical Marines. Now, from the Scout kit, we're only going to be using the sniper body, one of the bolters, and the shoulder pads. I got the body I used for this conversion for about $12 on eBay, and used leftover bits from when I built Scout Marines for my army for the rest of it. Additionally, you're only going to be needing one of the sniper rifles from the Eliminator kit, so you might want to pick that up separately. From the Mark 6 kit, we're going to be using one of the heads off the Command Sergeant upgrade sprue. This one specifically. So, starting out with the main body, mine came off the sprue already when I purchased it from eBay. But if you're starting with the kit, just clip out the body, clean it up with your X-Acto knife, just like it goes according to the instructions. From there, take some plastic glue, put it together. Once it's together, just set it aside and leave it to dry. While that's drying, we can start working on the bolter. Originally, I was going to use the bolt carbine you can get out of the Space Marine Eliminator kit. It's a good looking bolter, and has the scope of the suppressor that you can see on Telion's. However, I wanted my conversion to look as much like the original model as possible. Looking at that model, you can see the bolter Telion uses is clearly a modified version of the standard Space Marine bolter. Additionally, the suppressor looks different than the one on the Eliminator bolt carbine. It has distinct ridges on it. And finally, Telion is holding his bolter with both hands, while the bolt carbine is only held in one, and just modify it with pieces of the Eliminator sniper rifle. If you wanted to, you could recreate this conversion using the Eliminator bolt carbine to give him a different pose or slightly different look, but I'm going forward with this idea. We're going to be taking one of the Eliminator bolt sniper rifles. Intentionally or otherwise, the section located between the end of the sniper rifle and the suppressor looks almost exactly like the suppressor attached to Telion's bolter. So, we're going to cut that away from the rest of the rifle and clean it up with our X-Acto knife. Cut away the scope from the top of the rifle. Be careful not to damage it, as it's a small piece. Once it's away, we'll clean it up with our knife to create a flat edge. Once those pieces are clean, we're going to move on to modifying the bolter. Carefully, using your X-Acto knife, cut the muzzle of the bolter right at the edge of the circle on the side of it. As you can see on the original model, the suppressor overlaps slightly with that circle. That's the effect we're going to try and mimic. Again, be careful not to remove too much. Once that's done, clean it up with your X-Acto knife to create a smooth surface, easy to glue to. From there, take your hobby clippers, cut away the front sight and rail off the top of the bolter. Once that's done, use your X-Acto knife and a file to smooth out the surface. Once that's all set, you can attach the scope and the suppressor to the bolter. After that, attach the other arm to the bolter and set them aside to dry. After waiting for a bit, you can attach the arms to the body and then the shoulder pads. Finally, we can put on the head. We're going to be using the bald, bearded head from the Mark VI Space Marine Sergeant sprue. The one with the targeter over his right eye. You can see it on the sprue here. Finally, we can attach Telion to his base. I'm going to be using a 40mm base for this model. The original model was on a 25mm like a normal scout, but I figured as he's supposed to be a character, a 40mm base was more appropriate. Plus, like this, I can run him as a Phobos captain when I want to use him in a game. Now, to help sell the fact that he's a character and add a bit of height to the model, I'm going to be using corkboard to add on a tactical rock. If you don't know, corkboard can be used pretty easily to make rocky terrain or rubble. Plus, you can get big boards from most craft stores for relatively cheap. I bought the corkboard I used for this about 8 years ago for around $15, and I still haven't used it all up. I highly recommend corkboard. It's easy to use, just break up the pieces you want to attach, put some super glue on the base, and arrange it how you want it. Once the corkboard is on the base and it's all dry, just use a little bit of super glue to attach Telion to the rocks. Once that's done, all that's left to do is paint up the model and apply the decals, leaving us with this. I'm really happy with how this model turned out. It's a pretty simple conversion, but I think I really captured the spirit of the original, while giving it a solid update to be more in line with the modern scouts. I also think I gave him a more heroic pose, with him aiming the gun instead of pointing it in one direction and looking in the other. Let me know how you think I did down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. I release videos every 2 weeks, so remember to subscribe and hit the bell to stay in the loop. If you have any video ideas you'd like to see me do, leave a comment. Additionally, I'd appreciate it if you could share this video with your friends or on your social media. Anyway, I hope you learned something. If you didn't, hopefully you at least had a good time. I'll see you next time. This is Rex, signing off.